Certainly. Here's a 15-minute YouTube script focusing on current Tnxp, Tonix Pharmaceuticals, stock news and updates, formatted for clarity and engagement. I've omitted bold black headings as requested. Hi everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the latest news and updates surrounding Tonix Pharmaceuticals, stock ticker Tnxp. Whether you're a current shareholder or just curious about this biotech stock, this update will cover the most important recent developments, key financials, analyst opinions, and what you should watch for moving forward. Let's start with the stock's recent price action. Over the past few days, Tnxp has shown some volatility. On Thursday, the stock traded up 1.7%, reaching as high as $36.09 before closing at $34.57. However, the next day, shares pulled back by about 2.4%, trading as low as $34.25 and closing at $34.67. These movements are pretty typical for Tnxp, which is known for its high volatility. More on that later. When we look at trading volume, there's something interesting to note. The volume during these sessions was significantly lower than the average, dropping by about 85% to 88% compared to the usual daily volume. That means fewer shares were changing hands, which can sometimes signal that investors are waiting for more news before making big moves. Now, let's talk about what's been happening with analyst coverage. Wall Street Zen recently upgraded Tnxp from a sell to a hold rating. That's a positive shift, but still cautious. On the other hand, both Alliance Global Partners and Noble Financial have maintained bullish outlooks. Alliance Global Partners reiterated their buy rating, while Noble Financial set a price target of $70. That's almost double the current price. It's clear that analysts are divided, but there's still some optimism for long-term growth. Let's move on to the company's financial health. Tonix Pharmaceuticals last reported earnings on May 12. The company posted a loss of $2.84 per share, which actually beat expectations by 39 cents. Revenue for the quarter was $2.43 million, just below the consensus estimate of $2.55 million. However, the company's net margin and return on equity are both deeply negative, highlighting ongoing financial challenges. Looking at the bigger picture, analysts expect Tnxp to post a staggering loss per share for the fiscal year, over negative $1,700. That's a big red flag for profitability, but it's not uncommon for early-stage biotech companies to burn through cash as they invest in research and development. Now, let's talk about insider activity. The CEO, Seth Lederman, recently purchased 4,000 shares at an average price of $21.55, valued at about $86,200. This purchase increased his direct ownership of the stock by a massive 80,000%. While this seems like a huge percentage, it's important to note that insider ownership remains low overall. Just 0.03% of the company's shares are owned by corporate insiders. Still, when a CEO buys shares, it can be seen as a vote of confidence in the company's future. Next, let's discuss the stock's technicals and fundamentals. Tnxp has a market capitalization of around $250 million. The 50-day simple moving average is about $28, and the 200-day moving average is around $24. The stock's beta is 2.09, which means it's about twice as volatile as the overall market. That high volatility can create both opportunities and risks for investors. If we look at longer-term performance, Tnxp has had a wild ride over the past year. The 52-week high was $130, and the 52-week low was just $6.76. That's a huge range, and it reflects the speculative nature of this stock. Over the past year, the stock is down about 70%, and over 3 years, it's down more than 99%. Clearly, this is not a stock for the faint-hearted. Despite the volatility, there are some positive signs. For example, over the past month, Tnxp has gained more than 20%. And in the last 3 months, while the stock is down nearly 40%, it's still outperforming some broader healthcare sector averages over certain periods. That said, the long-term trend has been overwhelmingly negative. Let's talk about the company itself. Tonix Pharmaceuticals is focused on developing treatments for central nervous system disorders, including fibromyalgia and post-traumatic stress disorder. The company is also exploring antiviral and vaccine technologies, which could open up new opportunities if successful. Management is led by Dr. Seth Lederman, who serves as CEO, President, and Chairman. The executive team includes experienced professionals in finance, operations, and medical research. With just 81 employees, this is a lean organization, which is typical for a clinical-stage biotech company. For Indian investors interested in Tnxp, it's worth noting that you can invest in this stock from India using platforms like iAndMoney. You can buy fractional shares, and the process is relatively straightforward. Search interest in Tnxp from Indian investors has actually increased by 159% in the last 30 days, and transactional activity has grown by over 130%. That's a significant uptick in attention from the Indian market. Now, let's summarize the key points so far. Recent price action. Tnxp has seen both gains and losses, with low trading volume. Analyst ratings, mixed, with some upgrades to hold, and others reiterating buy or outperform. Financials. The company is not profitable, with significant losses and negative margins. Insider activity. The CEO has made a notable share purchase, but overall insider ownership is low. Volatility. The stock is highly volatile with a wide 52-week range. Company focus. Tonix is focused on CNS disorders and vaccine technologies. Investor interest. There's growing interest from Indian investors. Looking ahead, what should investors watch for? First, keep an eye on upcoming clinical trial results and regulatory updates. Positive news on any of Tonix's pipeline products could be a major catalyst for the stock. Second, monitor quarterly earnings and cash burn. As a clinical stage company, Tonix will need to raise more capital at some point, which could dilute existing shareholders. Finally, consider the broader market environment. Biotech stocks are often sensitive to interest rates and investor sentiment, so macroeconomic factors can also impact Tnxp's performance. Before we wrap up, let's address some frequently asked questions. Is Tnxp a good buy right now? Analyst opinions are mixed. Some see potential upside, while others remain cautious. The high volatility and lack of profitability mean this stock is best suited for risk-tolerant investors. What are the main risks? The biggest risks are clinical trial failures, dilution from future share offerings, and the company's ongoing losses. Can Indian investors buy Tnxp? Yes, Indian investors can buy Tnxp through platforms like iAndMoney and can even purchase fractional shares with no brokerage fees. That's all for today's update on Tnxp. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more stock news and analysis. Let me know in the comments if you have any specific questions about Tnxp or other stocks you'd like me to cover. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.